Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be going through our continued unbagging series with the 21st issue of Imperium. And Imperium is set for Warhammer 40,000. So 21 issues of a 19 issue weekly magazine subscription, or what? Just over a quarter of the way? Either way, it's been an interesting experience. So, front of issue number 21 with the Adeptus Mechanicus. So this will be interesting for me in the sense that I've not really seen much of the AdMech. I mean, I know they exist, but they've never really appealed to me. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see how this goes. So that's that. What to expect in this issue. So we will get part 1 of 2 to basically get a full unit of 10 Skitarii Rangers. So as we know, this is between issues 21 and 22. So it looks like we'll have some information about the Skitarii Rangers, the Adeptus Mechanicus, and expanding some of the data sheets. Contents, as they're expected: Skitarii Rangers, the Adeptus Mechanicus, Crimson Doom, part 1, seems to be some stories, and we do have a foldout for the Parian X's. Building the Skitarii Rangers, which is obviously going to be important. Interestingly enough, there is no painting, so I suspect the painting may very well be in issue 22. And then we go through the playthrough guide. Okay, Skitarii Rangers, Mechanical Legionnaires. So I imagine the Skitarii Rangers will be pretty much the battle line troop for the AdMech. Now, I will admit, they do look cool. Obviously expanding upon what we've seen in the previous Imperial Guard, or I guess I'd have to call it the Astra Militarum. But yeah, definitely interesting to see them all together. I don't know how well they'll be to paint. They could actually be pretty easy to paint in the sense that once you get all the mechanical components done, it's just the robes. So that's that. Of course, we're going to have the battle record behind it, so that's always nice to have. And then we have some nice little naming generators for the Adeptus Mechanicus, so rolling D66 and get a first and second name. Second name clearly being an array of numbers. Still going through some of the random dice generation for naming conventions and things like that, so always nice to have. Story for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Obviously back in the day, the machine god was just a nice little emblem on tank hulls. Good old Mars, pretty much the home of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Skitarii, the Cult Mechanicus, that's always nice. The Crimson Doom, so what is this exactly? Legions of the Novok dynasty have emerged from a hidden dormant gate and descended upon the imperial world of Valanta. Crusade Fleet Primus has responded to the world's cries for help, dispatching an entire cohort of Adeptus Mechanicus warriors to confront the invading foes. So, looks like it's basically Adeptus Mechanicus and Necrons, of a very interesting red theme. So obviously I won't go through the whole story side of things, but at some point in time I will want to read through on that. How to build the Skitarii Rangers. So for the most part, their top section is pretty much the front and back of the torso and cape, legs up at the bottom, and back, and their arms. So this is pretty much the Skitarii Ranger Alpha. So that one should be fairly easy to put together. And then the rest, so what do we have? A Skitarii Ranger with enhanced data tether, Skitarii Ranger with transuranic arquebus, maybe? There will be some extra components. There will be some variant assembly here with some different heads. Skitarii Ranger with arc rifle, with a plasmic galvanic rifles. Oh my goodness. I can see why, more galvanic rifles, I definitely see why there was not the painting guide, because that's a few pages on the build guide alone, so definitely a lot of pre-made variety with these kits. As I said, it'll be interesting to see how they actually are to put together and paint. I'm interested in the sense that it'll be something different, given that majority of my painting has been pretty much power armor, really, at least back in the day. Data sheets. So we have updated data sheets for the Primaris Lieutenant. Now obviously this is in line with the magazine, what's that book called? The Codex. Will naturally be the most important source of information, as well as the 40k app, and there are other resources as well. You also have the Assault Intercessor Squad as well. Quick tutorial here. I'm not going to go into it in full, but what do we have? Tactical precision, so obviously something to do regarding keywords. We have the Storm Shield and its modifiers for saving rolls, the concept of an invulnerable save. Then going through the data sheet for the Overlord and the Necron Warriors. It's pretty much within the magazine side of things. This is probably the first time we've actually seen the actual data sheet / card with the full stat lines of the units. And there's another tutorial here regarding the Resurrection Orb and some other items as well. Orbital Defense, so it's pretty much the actual playthrough for this issue, referring back to the actual datasheet profiles as well and explaining each of these. And then pretty much going through the game. So Necrons get the first turn. There'll definitely be no psychic charge and fight phase, at least not in the first turn. So Necrons have definitely done some damage initially. Space Marines get basically everything bar a psychic phase. So that's definitely not too bad. So they do their typical activations, moving, some shooting, and there actually will be a charge and fight phase. And then back to the Necrons to go through more rounds of combat. Is there some shooting? There could be some shooting. Anything has the equivalent of a pistol keyword. And then obviously the game will continue until the victor emerges. Just some information about the Imperium magazine, so no longer going through the next 20 odd issues, just going back to a nice little generic information, but they have changed the artwork with obviously something from the ad back. In terms of coming soon, issue 22 we already know will be the second part of the Skitarii Rangers. Issue 23 however, we go back to the Necrons with a Canoptic Spider. That does look very, very cool. I will admit I do like progressively building a Necron force without having to actively buy anything. So that's pretty much the run through of issue 21. Definitely some nice little good tidbits in there. Now in terms of the fold out, the Pro Nexus. So I believe this was potentially the storyline of 10th or 9th. I'm not too sure. As I've mentioned in a few previous videos, I did have a bit of a break from 40k, but obviously the Foldout will have some information story-wise. Space Marines, Adeptus Sororitas, and Mechanicus. Necron forces, and then going into a little section about the Indominus Crusade, and then we have another I always get confused at what I call this bit. Another universe map. And then a particular warzone, in this case Warzone Pariahs. I'm assuming this is pretty much the base of the Pariah Nexus, would be my guess. Interesting, there's a few little redacted zones. What are they? Redacted. Order Xenos Clearance Crimson. So possibly, obviously something that's been hidden by the Inquisition, no doubt. And then obviously the larger solar map. It's always nice to see these nice little foldouts to go into binders, which I have yet to start filling. So that was the foldout. And then lastly, more importantly, quote unquote, we have the A runner for the Skitarii Rangers. So in terms of detailing, I mean the weapons will definitely have a good amount of detailing. Can't tell if those are the... oh no, I think those are the back of the heads. Yes, those are the back of the heads. So the weapons are pretty detailed. The legs definitely don't look too bad. The back of the bodies aren't too bad. We definitely have plenty of heads by the look of things, so I'd imagine the next sprue will probably be more body parts and less heads. That's one side. Looking at the other side, so we do get a little bit of detailing on the front of the legs, the backpack, and then obviously just a shot at all the various heads that we have. So yes, at some point in time I'm going to have a large array of heads for AdMech, which is always nice to have. So that is the included runner, or sprue. I keep using them interchangeably. Okay, so that pretty much brings us to the end of the retrospective unbagging, unboxing, I still haven't really selected a term, of Imperium issue number 21. Now into the 20s, so in a few issues time there'll be a nice little retail cost versus value summary. Issue 22, as we already know, will be another continuation of the Skitarii ranges, and then we get back into some more Necrons themed stuff as we progress through the 20s. So naturally, obviously looking forward to what's going to come up. Leaving it there, so thank you very much for sticking around to listen through and watch through this video. Feel free to do the whole comment, subscribe, like if you enjoyed the content. It does help support the channel, I do appreciate it. There'll be some stuff on my Instagram, so feel free to check that out, and I'm trying to put some stuff into the community tab as well. With that being said, stay safe, take care, and I will catch you all in next week's Imperium walkthrough or something else on the channel. See ya.